The Skywalker saga comes to an end this month with the release of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. It's been 40 years in the making, Mystorian, but did you know that this sci-fi space opera actually follows a story template as old as time itself? But today's tale is not that, rather the man behind it, and how he went on to become George Lucas's own personal Yoda. Greetings, Mystorian. Today we look at how renowned American mythology professor Joseph Campbell helped with the making of Star Wars via his seminal 1949 book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. For this, Professor Campbell immersed himself in art, literature, and explored an array of stories to find out what makes legends and us humans tick. For him, we don't seek meaning in life, we seek experiences. More specifically, the experience of being alive, so that our life experiences on the pure physical plane will have resonances within our innermost being and reality, so that we actually feel the rapture of being alive. Campbell's work is expansive and worth a read. He studied many legends and stories, and said that each follows a structure called the hero's journey. This is a classic storytelling pattern found in legends across the world. Campbell boiled each of the stories he studied down to a 17-stage process. And if you want to learn more about that, let us know in the comments. But for now, here is Campbell explaining the hero's journey in its most simplest form. A hero ventures forth from the world of common day into a region of supernatural wonder. Fabulous forces are there encountered, and a decisive victory is won. The hero comes back from this mysterious adventure with the power to bestow boons on his fellow man. Doesn't this sound like practically every story ever told? That's because it is. But how does this relate to Star Wars? Well, let us ask Mr. Star Wars himself, the man who started it all, George Lucas. About 10 years ago, I set out to write a children's film, and I had an idea of doing a modern fairy tale. My friends all around said, "What are you doing? You're crazy. You have to do something important. You have to do something that is socially relevant. You have to do something that is art with a capital A." Lucas is speaking in 1985 here at a National Arts Club event honoring Professor Campbell. Prior to making Star Wars in the 70s, he had been working on a story about the Vietnam War. He would later give that to Francis Ford Coppola, and it would then go on to become the film Apocalypse Now. Lucas was hell-bent on his goal of writing a children's film. So he spent a year developing a script, and it was then that he stumbled across Campbell's book. "This is what I've been doing. This is it," Lucas said to himself at the time. The young filmmaker said Campbell's book was the first time a book began to focus on what I'd already been doing intuitively. Lucas struggled for years to build the story that would become Star Wars, and what he wound up with was 500 pages. Now, Mystorian's movie time, one page of script is about 1 minute of screen time. That's why most scripts run from about 90 pages to around 120 pages. But Lucas said Campbell's work helped him to streamline his story greatly. Here is the end, here is the focus, here is the way it's all laid out. It was all there, and had been there for thousands and thousands of years, as Mr. Campbell pointed out, and I said, this is it. And in May 1977, with the release of Star Wars, Lucas did indeed do it. He said, "It's possible that if I'd not run across him, I would still be writing Star Wars today." He is a really wonderful man, and he has become my Yoda.
We have not even to risk the adventure alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. We have only to follow the thread of the hero path. And And where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a God. And where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. And where we had thought to travel outward, we shall come to the center of our own existence. And where we had thought to be alone, we shall be with all the world.
Thank you, Historian, for watching. Do you want more content like this? Check out our other series on the making of Joker and Batman, or find out how Death Stranding almost didn't happen. Share the myth and spread us around. But as always, this isn't goodbye. This is just until the next mythical video.